start off by creating a new project. We'll do a new empty project. We're going to make the window and the layout the same size. It's going to be portrait. So for window size for width, put 576. And for height, put 960. Then this dotted line is the window. Click on the background and you'll do the same thing for layout. That's 576, 960. We're going to start off by making our first layer the background. Double click on the background. We'll do a tiled background. Click to insert it. Then we'll go to the paint bucket. And here we'll choose the background color we want to use. I'm going to choose a dark gray, so I want my red, green, and blue to all be the same, and then just slide that over to how dark I want it to be. Then click in the area to fill in the box. Then we can close this. Then our tiled background we want position to be 0, 0 so that it's in the top left corner, and we want the size to be the same as the background, so 576 by 960. Then I'm going to lock the background layer and make a new layer. I'm going to call this new layer game. Then our game layer, I'm going to create a ball, so double click to insert a sprite. Insert that on the game layer. Click open. From here we're going to go to this PC, Stu Share, Game Programming, Ball Shooter. I'm going to change our view to large icons. We're going to open the ball. I'm going to close that, and for the name of our object, we're going to name that ball. I'm going to put that kind of near the bottom. Then for our ball, we're going to go to our behaviors, and we're going to add bullet behavior. We're going to change our speed to 0. These are our initial values. We do want it to bounce off solid, so change that to yes. And that should be all for the ball for now. Then we need some walls for it to bounce off of. Our wall's not going to do anything specific, so we're just going to make it a tiled background. Click to place it. Since it's a tiled background, the size doesn't really matter. Pick the color you want for your wall. Fill it in. We'll close that. We'll name tiled background 2 to wall. For position, I'm going to put -50 and 0 for Y. And then for the size, we want the width to be 50 and our height to be 1010. It goes a little bit below the bottom there. Then we're going to copy and paste that right about here. I got it pretty close. We want X 576, Y to be 0. That should put it right at this corner. The size is exactly the same. We're going to copy and paste another one of those. Now our position is going to be -50 for the X, -50 for the Y, and the size is going to be 676, and the height is only going to be 50, and that should make a bar on the top that covers the top edge of the screen. And then we're going to add a behavior so that this object is solid so that our ball can bounce off of it. For now, we'll go ahead and copy and paste one more copy at the bottom. Position will be 0, 960. Size only needs to be 576. We'll eventually replace this with a different object, but this will get us working temporarily. And then the last thing I want to add in is one more sprite. That at the top, I'm going to make this one black and fill it in. The size for this should not matter. I'm going to name this line. I'm going to make it smaller so it doesn't take up as much space. That just needs to be off the edge of the screen for now. Then we'll double click and add a mouse. Now let's switch over to the event sheet and get this going. Going to first add a for the ball. I'm going to put the ball's events inside of the ball group. I'm going to add a sub-event to the ball group. And I want mouse on click. When we left click, we will then have the ball set at an angle toward a position of mouse.x, mouse.y, and hit done. And at that point, we can set our line to invisible. So we're going to do set visible and change that to invisible. So the line will disappear when we click. We also want our ball to start moving. So we're going to add an action ball, go down to the bullet section, and we're going to set the speed. 800 seems to be a good speed where the ball does not go through the walls and the bricks. If you put it too fast, it can clip through walls. If you make it too slow, then the game runs slow. Now if we were to run that to test it, we'll see when we click, the ball starts moving and bouncing off the walls. Then we're going to add another group for the line. And then for the line, we're going to add a sub-event for system every tick. Going to add another condition. We only want this when the line is visible. So every tick while the line is visible, we're going to set the line's position. And we're going to set that to the ball. So it's going to be right in the middle of the ball. Then we're going to take the line and we're going to set its width. So this is going to be how long it is. So set width. And the width we want, we can find with a distance formula. So let's do distance. And then inside of distance, we're going to need an x and y coordinate of our first point and an x and y coordinate of our last point. So we want from our ball dot x, comma, ball dot y. And then we want that to go to the mouse dot x, comma, mouse dot y. Close our parentheses. So we have ball dot x, comma, ball dot y, comma, mouse dot x, comma, mouse dot y inside of our distance. Now we need to set the line's angle line, so set angle. The easiest way to do that is angle toward position, and that's going to be mouse dot x, mouse dot y. Since we already have our position, the angle should be calculated correctly. So now when we run this, we should have a visible line showing where the ball is going to go. And when we click, it's going to go there. It's not working exactly the way we want it, so let's go back to layout. Click on our line. We'll double click it to bring up the editor. Then we're going to switch to our origin and image points. Then I'm going to set my origin quick assign to the left. That way when it resizes, it only resizes out to the right, which is angle 0, and then that will go toward where our mouse is. Now the width of the line, its thickness, is actually going to be the height because our width is going to go over to where the position is. So I'm going to add an event at the top for system start of layout so that it only runs one time. Move that above my two blocks. And here I'm going to set the line's height. And whatever I put here is going to be how thick the line is. So I'm going to put 5 in for the height and run this and see what it looks like. Click that and everything seems to be working okay.